How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another movie hooker video. Today's video, I am going to be giving you a little video review of a review I've already written on moviehooker.com for Longlegs. Um, let's just get stuck straight into it. I think the best thing about this movie, and I've noticed a lot of people saying this, was the marketing for it. The marketing was absolutely out of this world. It was so good. So whoever's responsible for that marketing should be very, very proud of themselves. Now, my doubts began a few weeks before I seen the actual movie when I checked, because everything that every trailer that this was given, every trailer that we seen of Longlegs was given off this vibe that's going to be really, really dark, really, really disturbing, and hard to stomach, and going to push boundaries beyond cinematic, like theatrical cinema, which we never, or very, very rarely get. So, that thing of Nicolas Cage with his hands over his face, like, I thought that was eerie, and the fact that we could only hear his voice, and they kept Nicolas Cage hidden, I thought it was, again, brilliant marketing. And the only thing we really had to go on with all these trailers, all these cryptic trailers, I'll call them, was his voice, really. And it was like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh dear Jesus, that's, I don't know what they think. It was pretty much unlike anything I've heard from a serial killer in a movie. And that really got me straight away, along with the beautifully shot frames. Like, every single thing was shot wonderfully, and there was like a sense of an amazing sense of dread. I will give it that throughout the film. So yes, uh, it was the trailers just give me nothing but I was like, okay, the marketing, these people aren't lying, this is great. Then the reviews started coming out, other people saying this was absolutely freaking brilliant. So I had it in my head, in order, like, I may be a little bit selfish here, but in order to be a really, really dark serial killer movie, they push the boundaries to make people get sick, and it has to be rated in 18s, or I don't know what you call it in America, like a hard R or an R rating. Um, but that is my personal, like, I don't, when I look at the BBFC, which is the British Broadcast and Film Certification Board, who rate all your movies, all our movies, and yeah, once I see a 15 certificate, that was alarm bells ringing in my head. There was already major restrictions flowing through my head, and I was like automatically going, well, it's not going to be the most hardcore uh, serial killer movie I'm ever going to see. I knew that. So, like, hardcore serial killer movie to me is like, I Saw the Devil is a very, very good serial killer movie that sort of pushes the boundaries and goes against the cinematic, like, grain of censorship. And I also love a French serial killer movie not a lot of people know about, called Cruel. And Cruel, I'm going off topic here, but I'll get back. Cruel was a serial killer movie written by a crime novelist, and this was his first film. I'm actually not sure what this guy's done since this movie. I think it was 2014. But that's a very, very slow burn and disturbing serial killer movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So, it was rated 15s. Restrictions were already flowing through my head. Then I got to the cinema, and yeah, it came on. By the time, like, we were introduced to Nicolas Cage's character within the first 2 minutes, excuse me, of the movie, and when I heard his voice, it done absolutely nothing for me, because that was the only thing that I have heard for months. The thing that I found so unsettling at the start, it I was numb of it, void of any emotion because I've just seen it so much. I knew what was sort of coming because he's not really in the movie. Anyway, you hear his voice and then you see him, and again, I was like, yeah, he definitely looks creepy. Um, but I know that's Nicolas Cage. There's Nicolas Cage, and I described it in my review. He looks like Buffalo Bill, starved of daylight and breastfed by his father. He is very, very creepy, and I will give it to Nicolas Cage. His performance was really, really good. Some people are really hating on it and shitting on it, and that's just not fair. This is a really, really daring performance, and you know, I've nothing but respect for this guy now. He's done like, you know, what has he done? He's done like The Color Out of Space. He's like Mandy as well, Renfield. So he's doing all these horror roles, and I love it. And I think he was phenomenal as a serial killer, but I do think he wasn't given enough time on screen, and there was some genuinely creepy moments um, from Cage. But anyway, let's move on to Micah Monroe. I thought she was fantastic as Lee Special Agent Lee Harker. Well, I thought she was fantastic with the material that she was given, um, and as much as I liked her character, I thought her character is very one-dimensional. I understand the whole, like, or did I understand the whole psychic element of this? When I seen her character reminded me of Saga, who is the girl, the protagonist in The Bridge, a Swedish crime series. And like, what I mean by that is antisocial and just awkward, and but a genius. So yeah, I thought she was very, very good, but very, very one dimensional. And now I've also said in my review that Longlegs is a evil movie. It is. I will give it that as well. The atmosphere is as thick as the atmospheric dread is as thick as fog the whole way through the movie, and it is quite an evil, satanic movie as well, which I absolutely love. I'm not a devil worshipper or anything, but I love a good old devil movie the same way I'd like a good old Christmas movie. Same thing, only a bit eviler. And so it is, I will give it that. I said in my review, it's an evil movie, but it isn't cruel. I want cruel and I want evil, and we didn't get it with Longlegs. I am sorry, we did not get it with Longlegs. I think I think it sort of went down the road of Mindhunter, where it showed a lot of the violence through photographs, and it wasn't as well done as Mindhunter. But I think that's where the inspiration, the actual killings, when we get to see them, are pretty much done off the screen, and that is where I was like, this is the 15 that I was thinking of that we were going to get, and sadly we did get it. So I'm just going to say, overall, I enjoyed the movie. I am so happy for what it has done in the horror for the horror genre, and may we get more off the back of this, and even more Long Legs. I would be up for that as well. Um, it took in $22.6 million in its first. I'm talking in dollars because I didn't get the pounds. The pounds box office, just the American box office, but 22.6 million in its first opening weekend, and that is great. And I am so happy that although it was only like £8.90, or actually it wasn't fucking £8.90. It was, I paid for 3 tickets, and my brother didn't even go. Shame on you, Keith. But my friend Pete took his ticket, so it was a really, really nice cinema experience. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I went to the cinema. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the serial killer movie I was hoping for. And my final score, which I'm quite proud of, is 6.6 out of. Do you see what I did there with the little 666 reference? So that is my final score out of 10. I was on the barrier of like a 6.5 but and a 7, because as I said, I still really enjoyed the movie. Just it's not the bleak offering or the scary movie that it's been hyped up out to be. And listen, my idea of scary is and extreme is completely different than some other people's, and I love that people are finding this the most terrifying film in the last few years, or the scariest film in the decade. So don't believe the hype. If you're a fan of extreme cinema, serial killer movies, don't believe the hype. Go in with an open mind and enjoy it for what it is. I really enjoyed it, and as I said, I'm glad I put money in the box office, and I hope you do as well. So thank you for watching. Subscribe or follow for more. Word up. Thank you. Bye bye.